With us now, NGO Save the Children SA says while children may not be at high risk of contracting the coronavirus, over 2 billion have been disproportionately affected. It is warning that the impact of the pandemic could be long-lasting and life-altering for many of them. The NGO's Child Protection Project Manager, Ms. Divya Naidoo, joins me now to have this conversation. Thank you so much for your time, Divya, and good morning to you. I think it's absolutely factual that even though children may not necessarily contract the virus, aren't we seeing those life-altering, impacts and, changes in their lives? For instance, the number of orphans right now due to COVID-19. What are some of those, sort of like concerns that we're seeing that are impacting young children due to COVID?
Good morning, Tumelo, and thank you for having us on, and good morning to your listeners, to your viewers as well. Yes, I think some statistics just quickly. The University of Cape Town had done some research, and they found that in South Africa alone, there's about 100,000 children that have lost their primary caregiver, which could be either a parent, a number of them raised by single parents, or grandparents due to the pandemic. And this is going to have a long-lasting impact for these children. If we think about ourselves in a situation when we know of a parent or somebody we care about, and we as adults know that they're going to pass on, we've had time to prepare. But here, in the case of COVID, children do not have that kind of time for preparation, for the loss. So the shock, the fear, the concern, all of that is really very, very worrying for young children.
Yeah, and speaking of those, numbers, the study that you referred to, Divya, I mean, looking at it here, just March 2020 to April this year alone, over 82,000 children orphaned, and another plus 94,000 lost their primary givers, as you've mentioned. I mean, the reason we're having this conversation is that not only are these children losing their primary caregivers or even their parents, but they end up dropping out of school. Some even end up in prostitution just to survive.
Yeah, no, the implications are far-reaching. Immediately, yes, children could end up dropping out of school because now suddenly they don't have somebody to care for them, they don't have the means to provide to get to school, and nobody is watching over what they're doing. And then there's also disruption in their own lives where they are being moved to maybe go and live with another family. And so it's, let's just give up this year of school, we'll decide next year. But the other risks, as you're saying, where we don't count that and we don't see the numbers sometimes, could end up where these children end up going into very risky behavior and taking up prostitution. You could have somebody who would take on these children, an opportunist will take this opportunity, say, come in, I'll take care of you, I'll provide a home for you, and children go in, and that's when you find the behavior like prostitution and things like that, where children are being exposed to, becomes a very high risk.
So as Save the Children SA, what do you say about this? What work lies ahead then, I suppose, for community members, for various leaders, for government, in ensuring that these children are protected, their rights are protected, but also they're not placed in situations where, like you mentioned, they will be taken advantage of?
Yeah. I think from Save the Children's side, we have placed a lot of emphasis around children's schooling and ensuring that children get back to school, to get back safely into school so that their education continues and we don't disrupt that. I think for community members, what we as Save the Children would say is be alert, be concerned, open up opportunities for children, just make sure that children are safe, especially if they have situations where there may be children with no parents. We know that when children are left at risk and they're vulnerable, then people will take advantage. So we need to be very alert of these opportunists who will take advantage of children, and to alert the authorities, alert the social welfare organizations, the Department of Social Development, and there are several local organizations that we as Save the Children work with, and we know they do a lot of good work on the ground. So we need to be able to ask the public to be alert, care enough to be able to report to somebody about what is happening to children, and if you know of children that are being placed at risk.
Yeah, I have to let you go in a moment. Before I do, in a matter of seconds, if there's a child right now listening to this, or there's a child right now who knows they're in danger and need help, anywhere they can go to scream and shout and ask for help, or even call, briefly, please.
Yes, I would advise then for children to just call Childline. They have a very short new number. It's 13. I think it's, sorry, I can't remember it now, but I think it's 133. But perhaps you can just get it on and put it on the screen. But it's a very short new number. But contact Childline or go to some responsible adult. If children are in school, speak to a teacher, speak to an educator who would be able to direct you and to get help. Don't be quiet about it. Speak to somebody who can help. And if the first person doesn't help, talk to somebody else about it. Thank you so much.
Speaking to someone you trust as a child, if you feel that your life is in danger, that's an important message here. Thank you so much, Divya Naidoo, from Save the Children SA, and highlighting this very important matter.